Welcome to Amazon Legends, where we have real stories about making it big on Amazon. Our guests are CEOs of large companies and entrepreneurs who became power sellers, also providers specializing in helping sellers, aggregators that acquire sellers, and former Amazonians will give us an insight from behind the scenes. Here is your host, Nick Urison.
Welcome to another episode of Amazon Legends. My next guest is a serial entrepreneur. So those who are entrepreneurs, you know exactly what we are like. You know, we are the unemployable. So he's one of those. And he's been an Amazon seller for over 2 decades. He started when he was 15, selling used college books. And that led him to manage the home shopping network's Amazon account because they were just getting started. So he helped them out. When we were talking originally, he kind of slips this in a very soft speaking manner. Says, oh, by the way, I also helped Larry Flint build their Amazon operations. So I say that's a huge deal. Regardless of who Larry Flint is, you know, I mean, this guy was a big hotshot. So that included 36 US retail outlets to drop ship Amazon orders. So he not only set up the Amazon operations, but he also coordinated 36 US outlets to drop ship Amazon orders. So he's intimately familiar with obviously how things work. So today he owns 2 brands in men's fine jewelry and women's shapewear, and also has a full service Amazon agency operation called Parker Worthington. And when he's not working, he likes research, as he's always looking for new products, and also his 3-year-old boy. So with that, welcome to the show, Greg Reniska. Welcome to the show, Greg.
Thank you, Nick. It's great to be here today. Appreciate the intro.
I tell you, I am not going to ask you what were the perks of working for Larry Flint.
Well, those are obvious, right? It was definitely a unique position, very corporate, but private equity corporate. You know, in every company that you work with, there's always growing pains and procedures. There were some unique ones there, but overall, I mean, I love everywhere I've worked.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, my hat is off to you for putting these operations together. I mean, of course, we always focus on process, you know, automation and things like that, and ultimately looking for scalability. But really, when you put an operation like that together, it's all about convincing people, right? Because you're putting something together from scratch. That means it's new. That means it's untested. And that means they have to learn stuff. And as you know, most people don't want to do anything new. They just want to keep doing what they do. And then getting them to buy into what needs to be done and why. It's being a politician at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, one thing that was drilled into me at an early age is you always have to have a strong sales acumen. Because no matter whether you're selling products or whether you're pitching a new idea to your boss or a potential partner, there's sales that go into that, you know, sales technique, sales strategy, um, research, due diligence, you know, and at the end of the day, all you're doing is pitching a level of confidence so they can make an informed decision of whether to pull that trigger and move forward or to potentially stay where they're at, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So everybody, all my listeners, you're going to love this episode because this is something that you can take and put straight to work for you. So it's something that Amazon offers that we all know them, but how do you get it? How do you use it? Not always clear. So what I'm talking about is the Amazon badges. So we'll talk about which ones are the best ones and how you get them, and then what is their impact. So every single one. So we're going to cover as many of them as possible as the time allows. So with that, let's jump right in. So what is the first one, Greg, that you want to cover here?
Well, I'd like to start off with the general, what we call in the industry is call to action badges. They're pretty applicable and easy to gain for pretty much any Amazon brand registered seller. These badges would include your coupon badge. If you're searching on Amazon, you'll see a bright green um, block that says save 5%, $5, so on and so forth with a coupon. That's very like in your face call to action to click on that listing. And it's just setting up a coupon. You can set up reoccurring coupons on a weekend, weekly, or monthly basis to run with your listings just to have that call to action feature. Obviously, depending on the amount of money you're putting into your marketing efforts and advertising, the more visible that button is going to make your product listing when people are searching for, whatever applicable keywords they're using. Coupons are a really big one. Another call to action badge would be limited time deals. Um, you can gain those badges by running best deals, which is like a 7-day deal through the deal portal, or running a lightning deal, also through the Amazon advertising promotions portal. Those aren't just available to everyone. Amazon's proprietary algorithm has to make those deals available to your account. Now, there are tricks of the trade to make those deals eligible for your products. And it boils down to the same trifecta: um, high velocity of sales, high traffic, and high conversion rate at the end of the day. Running a coupon on something that you have a competitive price margin on will definitely increase your sales and your conversion for the traffic coming into your listing. In regards to the traffic, there's really only one way to do that and then increase your traffic is you're going to have to increase your advertising. The more eyes, the wider net that you cast for your products, the higher ratio you'll have for Amazon's algorithm to pick up that information and that data and to open up deals per se. But coupons is a great way to jump in and get started. Outside of those basic call to action badges, one of the most popular badges I'm sure everyone's aware of is the Amazon Choice badge. There's a lot of articles out there, a lot of information about this badge, and the next badge we'll go into. But the Amazon Choice badge is it really focuses on high rate rankings, like reviews for your products, and a high conversion rate. So if you have a high amount of reviews, now it's a very wide range, right? You could have a product that has 800 reviews launched in the first 90 days, but it's getting a lot of sales rating, conversion, a very high conversion rate, a lot of action, call to action. And that could have an Amazon Choice badge. Or you could have a product that's been launched on the platform with tens of thousands of reviews, and that has an Amazon Choice badge. There's no real number to the minimum amount of reviews that your product per se needs. But if you have a highly reviewed rating and ranking, and you have a high conversion rate, then Amazon will give you the choice badge. These Amazon choice badges, it's very important to know they are keyword specific, and you can show simultaneously for several keywords for an Amazon choice badge. So, for example, if you're selling like a men's watch, you could have an Amazon choice badge for your brand name, let's say Gova, right? The Gova men's watch, you could have an Amazon choice badge for that. And then you could have an Amazon choice badge for the same product, but without Bogova, just men's watch or men's silver watch. A variation of high converting keywords that are running into that listing.
Yeah, so to get the Amazon Choice badge, first of all, it's not accidental, right? So you have to plan for this. That means that your PPC campaigns, your listing, content, your title, or whatever the case may be, it has to be all, if you like, prefabricated to get this Amazon Choice badge, because the goal is to drive traffic with focus on those keywords and then convert as much of it as
Absolutely.
possible. And that will get you the Amazon Choice badge. You can, of course, if you have deep pockets, you can blow money through bidding to drive traffic. But that doesn't mean that people are going to click through it. And it also doesn't mean that people are going to buy it, right? So that means that you really have to do your homework to define a list of your buying keywords. So that way you can design your product detail page all around those buying keywords, especially your pictures. So that way the traffic that you drive will ultimately end up converting on those keywords, which will then get you the Amazon Choice badge, right?
There is a lot that goes into it. If I had to, per se, make this as easily explainable as possible, I would recommend my clients and other Amazon sellers out there to focus on your bottom of funnel keywords in your advertising campaign, your conversion funnel, right? Because at the top, we have brand awareness, which is a wide net, bringing your brand into the forefront of people's eyes and attention on Amazon. And then midway through that funnel, you have brand consideration, right? Where they're comparing your product against, I don't know, 3 or 4 of your competitors. Then brand loyalty, where they're actually looking for your brand. They've had your product and they want to do it. Like they want to buy it again or, gift it to a relative or a family member or a friend. I would focus on mid and bottom funnel for your keywords in your ad campaigns to target Amazon Choice and bestseller, which we'll talk about. Those are already showing a high conversion rate in your ad campaign. So you're already cutting your spend rate in your chances. You're cutting your spend rate in half and you're doubling your chances by getting the Amazon Choice badge if you're already on that select funnel of converting keywords. Outside of that, another beautiful thing which you've had people on your show and talked about is the search term reports. There's a lot of useful reports now within the Amazon ecosystem that were not available even 5 years ago. A lot of us ancient sellers on Amazon have been fighting a long time for some of these reports, and finally they are there. So take advantage of them. That's definitely my advice there is take advantage, sift through the data, and let the data work for you and don't work against it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. I was just going to say that just go to your brand analytics, your search query performance report, and just download the last quarter. Just do last quarter and then just sort by purchase column. And then those keywords that gave you purchases, first thing you do is go check if you are not already bidding on them, immediately start bidding. Or if you are already bidding, increase the bids because they're giving you business anyway. So that will bring you closer to getting Amazon Choice. And if you play your cards right and your content is aligned with those keywords that are bringing you business already, if not, align them. That way you can get a dozen Amazon Choice badges. And then the next thing is your conversion gets even better. And of course, that then secures your place in that badge. So, and then you keep it for a long time. So,
Absolutely. And one thing, Nick, I'd like to point out for your listeners is um, when selecting which keywords to really focus on, you want to focus on your mid to short tail keywords. So start with keywords of 5 words or less, per se, whether they include your brand name or not, and target those. And again, if you're targeting a keyword like a short tail keyword and your CPC cost is too high, work that keyword throughout your listing, rework it, re-audit your listing, work that keyword more into the back end, like bullet points, title, description, make it work for you, and then retarget it. You'll start to see as you start to gain ranking and sales velocity, the CPC rate will go down because you're starting to, industry term, organically convert, right? But there's no such thing as organic. It's ranking, right? um, but yeah, those are really good tips for the Amazon Choice badge. And it is crucial to know that those are keyword specific, and you can rank for multiple at the time.
Yeah. I just want to quickly revisit the coupon business. So that's not promotions, right? This is under advertising, and then you select the option coupon, right? That's the one that you're referring to.
That is correct. It's under the marketing tab, advertising marketing tab within your seller dashboard. And it is a coupon section by itself. It can run simultaneous with BOGOs, buy one, get one offerings. Those are a great way to train your detail page to incorporate other products that your brand carries for the frequently bought with carousel. It's a whole nother
Yeah.
discussion. But yeah, no, the coupons are a great way to just jump in, start adding a call to action to your detail page, and watching your listings start to convert more.
Yeah. Well, there is something that came up in while recording another episode was coupons are a percentage of your selling price. So
Yes.
it's simple enough. If you are offering a 10% off coupon, 10% comes off. Now, that's okay, but when you do your financial reporting, you must report your top line by using the gross sales value. Because as you know, at the beginning, you do your planning where you say, okay, how much should I sell my item for? Since it's your private label product, you are assigning the price. And you say, okay, X percentage of my selling price is landed cost. You pay 15% to Amazon, and you pay X% to your FBA fee, whatever that is, depending on your size and weight. And then the only unknown there is your advertising, how much your advertising will consume. Of course, at the beginning, it will consume more, but by the time you optimize it, it's going to settle down if you are managing it right. It's between 10 to 15% of your total sales. So now you do the math. Let's say that you're buying it at 30%, that your landed cost is 30% of the selling price. So 30% plus 15% Amazon, 45, plus 15%, let's say roughly, FBA fee, that's 60, plus 15% of advertising. So that's 75%, right? So that's a
Yes.
nice 25% net potential profit margin.
Yes.
This is your FBA, and your advertising is around 15%.
That is correct. Now, the beauty of the coupons is that you don't have to go per se balls to the wall and give a large discount. The sweet spot that I've recognized specifically over the last 2 to 3 years is typically an 8% to a 15% coupon is enough to attract traffic and also increase conversion.
10 to
5%
15.
really doesn't do much, but 8 to 15%, that's a sweet spot.
Yeah. So let's say 15%. Okay.
Mhm.
We were already up to 75, right?
Yeah.
So if you give, and people are so quick to give that 15% because they want the sale, they want the conversion. So I'm not saying don't give it. What I'm saying is some items for a period of time you will give the 15% coupon. Sometimes you won't. It will discontinue, whatever. But throughout your entire reporting, I always say report your gross and then report the promotions as promotions, so that you know how much percentage that you are taking away from your bottom line. That's what I always say, which is often overlooked. Plus, there is
Yes.
a charge. Like Amazon charges for, they call it also clip coupon, right? So there is a charge.
A clip fee. That is correct. Yeah, there is a coupon clip fee. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool.
That's a great call out, Nick. Just FYI, a lot of people overlook the P&L, the holistic P&L. of profit and loss from an Amazon seller account. And those are definitely fees that you need to be aware of for sure. These call to action buttons, they are for strongly recommended for new launch products or for high traction items, seasonal items, things of that nature. These are not techniques per se that you want to implement all year round, day in and
Right.
day out, 365 for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, limited time deals, yes. I mean, you need to qualify for those. So you just keep an eye on that portal where they get displayed. It will say if you don't qualify, so there are no, deals that available at this time.
That is correct. I have a little nugget of information for your listeners, Nick. With that deal portal, you'll get a lot of lightning deals traditionally. Now, lightning deals don't perform well, right? They only run for a couple hours for 1 or 2 days and then they're done. What you really want is Amazon to populate best deals. Best deals run 7 days for an entire week from Monday to Sunday. Now, if you're getting a lot of lightning deals and you're not getting any best deal opportunities, a trick to the system is action the lightning deal. Act like you're going to run the lightning deal. Schedule the lightning deal before Saturday afternoon to evening, because every Saturday afternoon or evening, there's not a specific time to it, but the algorithm resets in Amazon. So that's when on the weekend the deals start populating out and cycling back in. So you'll get new deals cycling in and out. If Amazon shows that you're actioning a lightning deal or a bunch of lightning deals, you can go through on Monday morning and cancel them, and it will not affect the algorithm. If anything, it'll help benefit the algorithm to start populating best deals because they think you took advantage of the lightning deals, but you don't actually get charged for the lightning deal until the day it runs. So
Mhm.
you can schedule them all day long, 2 weeks out, a week out, come through a couple days later, cancel them. You don't get charged anything, and you're helping train the algorithm.
And then at the same time, you appear to be taking advantage of it. So they'll put you in circulation for the best deals.
You got it. Absolutely.
It's a great trick.
But some of these other ones, if you don't mind, I'm just going to be pretty quick on the next two for time's sake.
Yes.
Bestseller badge. Bestseller badge is another big badge, like the Amazon Choice badges. This one is particular to category and subcategory, though, Nick. It's very important to know that the bestseller badge is updated hourly within the Amazon algorithm. So that means you have 24 chances every day to either have the opportunity to gain the bestseller badge or to lose it, depending on your competition. Um, this is strictly reserved for the top 100 best-selling products in Amazon categories. No two products will ever have the best-selling badge at the same hour because it's only going to be derived to one product um, in a particular hour span. These are literally based off of the Amazon algorithm metrics holistically, traffic conversion and sales. The bestseller badge is really about sales, sales data. If you're selling 4,000 units in an hour and your competitor is selling 3,900, you're going to be the one getting the bestseller badge next, as long as you're ranked number one within your category.
So that's units sold, not dollar value, units sold.
That is correct. Yeah, it's about sales units sold. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. When you go to the bestseller page, you can pull up the page and then category by category, you can drill down at, layer by layer, you can get down. So I've only been able to go as deep as 5 layers. I don't think Amazon has 6 layers. So what you are saying is as long as you are in the top 100 of the products that sold in that category, you'll get the badge, right?
No, sir. Top 100 best-selling products throughout all categories. So there's about 100 different categories on Amazon. You have to be that number one bestseller within your category to get that badge. So let's
But
say, for example, we're looking at air guns, like pellet guns, right? Daisy's been around forever, right? Prime example, if one of their competitors, like let's say Umarex or Bara air guns, comes in and they're ranked number three, but then they have a huge spike in sales units. borrower can move from number 3 to number 1. And once they get that number 1 position, they get the bestseller badge.
I see. But it's the lowest because, as you know, there are many, many categories. So this
Yes.
is the not the top level category, but the bottom level category that you belong to, and you have to be the number one in that category.
It could be subcategory or main category. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
And you have to be
yeah.
the number 1 in them. Yeah.
Okay, so
Definitely all sales focused.
yeah, only one product can get that. That must be hard to get, right?
I've seen it juggle a lot. I've seen people rip their hair out a lot. They have it for a couple hours, and then during their sweets time during the day, let's say 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, when people are getting off work and buying, they lose it, and they just go bananas and start pulling their hair out and throwing the water cooler at the office. um, but at the end of the day, it's all about scheduling your marketing too, like put more ad spend leading into the hours that you want the badge enabled, right? So if you're fighting with the number 1 and number 2 seed spot within your category, time your marketing spend, your traffic drivers, social media presence, run all of that collaboratively to focus on, let's say, the hours of 2 to 3 or 1 to 3 p.m. You start driving all that traffic into your listing, you're going to naturally increase your sales if you have the product that's worthy of the purchase. And then you're going to have the bestseller badge between those hours that you want it, from 3 to 5 or 3 to 6.
And these items that have the bestseller badge, I mean, obviously, when you do the search, they're going to show up. So that's
Yes.
one place. You'll get more click-throughs on it, and then naturally, your conversion will be better. Are there other benefits to getting that badge? Are there other places where you get exposure?
Well, yes, absolutely. So there are times, depending on the seasonality and the time of the year, Amazon will take number 1 bestsellers from different product categories and put those into gift options that would display in a carousel on their homepage, for example. Things like that. The Amazon PR team has been known to secretly reach out and ask sellers, "Hey, are you interested in letting us promote this product or this group of products on our Instagram or our social media, or our homepage for Christmas, or back to school specials, things of that nature." So yeah, absolutely. The longer you keep a bestseller badge, holistically, the better your listing is, and the higher your sales are going to be.
Yeah. And also, you forgot the emails. Amazon sends out these category specific emails and they put you in
Yes.
there. And
Yes.
usually at the time they were running these, it was always Amazon products. So they never put a third party seller listing in the email. And I remember, it's a long story. We had a major screw up, and we had an exemplary comeback that Amazon loved, and they said, "Well, you've done a great job." And then one day we got a call telling us that they decided to put us in their email circulation, and they asked us, "Which product of yours would you like? Because you're gonna get a lot of business." So and they put our name, our seller name, and we told
Yeah.
them which listing, and they put our name.
That was probably
Definitely.
around 2009 to 2012, if I remember right, Nick, that Amazon was beta testing that outreach with, instead of keeping it solely to themselves, that was like the initial phases of them beta testing what's now known as brand tailored promotions.
As you know, Amazon often loses inventory or overcharges fees. With Arti, you can now recover up to 30% of your lost revenue at a monthly flat rate of only $99 with no commission fees. For unlimited reimbursements, you can increase your bottom line. Their automated Amazon compliant process ensures hassle-free refunds. Visit www.getarty.com/legends and sign up today to get 1 month free and discover your recovery potential. Yeah. So this is actually a good place for me to tell you something. And also for my listeners, there is an episode recorded with a gentleman called Chris Moe, Moe, Chris Moe. And watch that episode. It's a must because it provides a very interesting theory with proof backed by data. And the theory, and I tested this, and it's true. Unfortunately, there are many layers to it, so I'm still in the process of testing different layers. And here is the theory: organic traffic, which is what everybody wants, right? Everybody is trying to get a good rank for each keyword as they do their PPC. They rank up on those keywords so that they show up more organically when those search terms are used, right? So that way you drive organic traffic to the listing, which costs you nothing. That's basically the strategy by everyone. So in this episode, you are going to hear that organic traffic does not come from search.
That is correct.
So this whole idea of ranking high on keywords so that way you can get organic traffic is actually BS. Doesn't go
Yep.
anywhere.
Yeah,
Organic
you're
traffic comes from what you and I are talking about. That's why I bring this up. These
yes.
badges, that the badges lead to circulations, and so circulations outside search will bring you organic traffic. And then guess what's driving that exposure? It's your BSR.
Yep. Absolutely. Amazon is a pay to play system. It always has been. And that pay to play is like any other investment. You know, if you're investing into a clothing company, you're gonna have to buy a ton of inventory to buy in and sell out into your department stores, right? You have to have enough inventory to go around. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all of an investment. If you want to launch a new product on Amazon, you're gonna have to come in, obviously optimize your listing. Like, don't just throw one image up there and, a title and a couple two words for bullet points. You're gonna have to put some work in. But once you do, you're gonna have to put your money where your time is invested per se, and you're gonna have to spend. You're gonna have to get that product out in front of the viewers, out in front of the consumers. Probably enroll like 30 units into Vine to start, gaining that initial BSR ranking, and shoot for these badges. Look up conversion funnels, look up marketing funnels. There's tons of information out there online, easily, readily available. And start, narrowing down the keywords that work for your listing and target those badges, because like you said, Nick, they would definitely, that is your organic peace of mind, is the BSR.
Yeah. All right. So we covered the badge, Amazon Choice badge, so and bestseller
Bestseller.
badge. And so what's next one?
Number one new release. So as we were just talking about product launches, perfect timing, right?
Yeah.
The number one new release batch. There's a lot of controversy about this one. As Amazon likes to keep everything close to the chest and not reveal much data in regards to this. Um, I had the fortunate position in the last year to 2 years where I worked closely with some Amazon executives, specifically SaaS core reps. And I come to find out that the number one release badge, it's only available for products that are within their first 90 days of selling on the platform. If you launch a product and it has a very high sales velocity, that's the second conundrum here. If it's in its first 90 days and it has a high sales velocity, you can get the number one new release badge, but it has to have a very high sales velocity within the category and subcategory of the product you're selling, and still be in those 90 days. The minute it hits day 91 of being released on the platform, it's no longer eligible for that badge.
So what is
It's
considered high in comparison to who is selling the highest?
Well, that's the beauty of Amazon keeping things secret. That is not known as of this time, but I would say if you have a fairly high conversion rate, let's, for argument's sake, say you have like a 3 to 8% conversion rate, I would say that you're probably in good standing to get that badge. Again, that's very optimistic because those rates and those numbers change per category and seasonality and what's in demand, right? But if you're getting a 3 to 8% conversion rate, that's pretty high for Amazon, right? Because you got millions of products you're competing against, essentially, and unless you're in like such a niche category.
It's category specific, the conversion rate, right? So it could be different. So you're gonna take my head off. When I work with my clients, I tell them minimum 35%. That's what I shoot for. Because at the beginning, your traffic is low anyway.
Yeah,
So, of course, as you drive more traffic, your conversion will automatically drop. However, that's not what Amazon expects. In other words, Amazon expects no matter how much traffic you're getting, your conversion rate has to be stable.
that is correct. Yeah.
I always say there are two magic bullets for success on Amazon. One is increase your click-through rate. Two, increase your conversion rate. Then you'll be laughing all the way to the bank.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are tried, tested, and true ways of getting there faster, with less spend and less headaches. But absolutely, it's all about traffic and the convertible piece of that traffic, in regards to the product you're selling.
So number one new release is another reward for achieving that high conversion, which then gives you high velocity. That's
Within the
great.
first 90 days. Yep.
So obviously you're not going to get it on day one, so it's going to be a while before you get there, but also not necessarily a long while, right? Because you have a moving average that's calculating every day. So if you play your card right and then you put your money on the right keywords and your content, everything is good, then probably within 2, 3 weeks, you could get that badge easily.
Absolutely. There's a little trick that I like to share with your listeners. What I tend to do when launching a new product, because there's a lot of different hiccups coming into a new product launch. I tend to create the ASIN, put my title, optimize my listing, but I do not add an image. The minute I add the image, it becomes active. So it's 90 days from the day that ASIN is active. So I'll have FBA inventory inbound on the ASIN. And then I'll come in once it's settled and add the images that I want for my product listing and make it active. This way, I don't have to wait a week to 3 weeks for Amazon to like get my inventory placed throughout the fulfillment centers. It's good to go. The minute my images, which take 24 to 48 hours, are live on the detail page, that's when the clock starts on the 90 days. So
Yeah.
those are some tips for faster product launches.
You know what I do, Greg? I keep the listing closed.
That's a good one too. Yeah, absolutely.
No matter
Yeah.
what, I keep the listing closed until I am ready to pull the trigger on PPC. I want to make sure FBA is there, everything is there, all the time. Because as you know, you update the listing, but it doesn't show up. So they say, okay, wait 24 hours. Okay, 24 hours, another 24 hours, and in the meantime, I'm waiting. So I don't do that. I just keep the listing closed.
That's definitely another sound strategy as well. Absolutely.
And by the way, that also is something I do when, of course, the idea is not to do it, but if you ever run out of inventory, when you are running your PPC and everything else, and everything is going good, you run out of inventory, that's sudden death. You're going to lose ranking, right? Close the
Yep.
listing. Then you freeze everything. And then when you open it back up. So that's another trick.
I love it, Nick, because that's an undervalued technique. A lot of people aren't aware of that. Like if they don't close their listing, they just start to see their BSR decline. That's a
Right.
great way to kind of keep it level to where it is until you're ready to re-enable
Yeah,
that.
close the listing so that you are basically freezing your performance in time. And then when you have new inventory, you can just simply reactivate it, or as they call it, relist. Just go switch it to relist. Then off you go. You pick up from where you left off. All right.
Absolutely.
So next one.
So the last two that I want to discuss, they're more category specific. and product specific. So the next one would be the Climate Pledge Friendly Badge. This is a really sought after badge specifically for um, wholesome products, healthy products. Uh, companies that are very conscious about reducing their carbon fiber footprint, they want this badge. They want packaging badges to show that they're not putting a 5 pound potato in a 20-pound sack and shipping it per se, right? But the Climate Pledge Friendly badge, there's a few things about that badge that everyone needs to be aware of. You must be certified by one or more of Amazon's 18 sustainability certification partners to have this badge. The number one thing right now is your products must display the USDA organic logo on your packaging. Even if you use your state certification, if your state certifies you, USDA organic will certify you. But Amazon only recognizes the USDA badge. They won't recognize your state badge for the organic. So that's a key thing. As long as you're certified, USDA organic badging is on the packaging, visible on your listing. You can get this badge. It's great for healthcare industry. Lip balms, natural, organic substances, no additives, things like that. And a lot of other industries I'm sure I'm missing. But if you do have the process where you're certified and you've met Amazon's stipulations and you're still not getting the badge, it's as long as you've checked those boxes, it's as easy as getting the badge by opening a case within your seller account.
Yeah, so
Um,
that means go create a case in seller support and ask them, here is my certification, can I have the badge? And then they should do it, right? That's the way it works.
Absolutely. They're going to look for your certification. They're going to cross-reference the product, make sure that product's on your certification as well. I mean, that's real granular. Most reps will just good to go, right? Because they'll see the certificate in the back end. And also, if you upload your certificate to your seller dashboard, that helps speed the process along.
Yeah.
That's for any small business owner or minority business owner. You can upload those certificates in the back end, and it definitely helps move things along faster.
Yeah. Okay. And the last one.
The last one, I say the best for last, and I say that because I'm currently at CES this week. And it's a consumer electronics show. We're going to discuss the Works with Alexa badge. The Works with Alexa badge is strictly for electronics, consumer electronics, anything that, when I say thing, I mean product or app that can connect to an Alexa device, or you can voice control through Alexa. So, for instance, let's say you're selling home security cameras and you have an app that's on the Alexa storefront. And it's as simple as saying, Alexa, turn on my spotlight, or Alexa, let me see my front door ring camera, right? Or my front door camera. And if you have a compatible Alexa device, you can view that. Now, there's ways, a lot of people just put this works with Alexa, works with Google, right? In the title of their listing. Don't necessarily need to do that. I actually advise against it unless the listing shows a high conversion rate for works with Alexa keywords. The reason why is you're wasting significant real estate space in your title when all you have to do is get a badge. The badging process is fairly simple. Yes, it costs money, but there's some really tried and true techniques behind this that will make it cost effective. So, for instance, you would go to the Alexa console. It's a whole separate portal. It's not like Seller Central. It's not like Vendor Central, but it's the Alexa Developer Console. You'll create an account. You'll submit your product for testing. You'll pay a testing fee. Testing fees do range. They can range between $300 to $1,500 or more. The beauty behind it is if you keep these 4 items in the back of your mind or the front of your mind when testing a app or a Alexa skill, they will crucially benefit you. Those things are the brand name on your application, the manufacturer name on your application, the model number on your application, and then the category of the product you're selling in on your application. Those must match the product detail page information of your listing. So, for example, if we took Greg's Smart Home brand and the manufacturer name was the same, um, I wanted to put just one model number for, let's say, my outdoor security camera line. Now, let's say I have 20 of those types of models, each with a different model number. I just use one model number for my application. They're all in the category outdoor security camera. This way, when I go through my badging, after I get it certified and everything, I can attach all 20 of my cameras for the same one-time fee that I paid to certify that application for. And I can get all 20 of my cameras to display the Alexa badge.
What is facilitating that?
Well, you have to have your product sent in and tested and certified from an Amazon authorized testing facility to make sure that it is connecting to Alexa and it's working properly with no bugs. If the test comes back negative, they'll give you debugging. You know, there's a lot of technical jargon in that for the coders that are listening. They know exactly what I'm talking about. But once you debug your app or your skill and you get it, the testing application approved, it's just as simple as giving your SKU number and ASIN of your product listing in the back end and telling Amazon you want the Works with Alexa badge for this application that you have approved to go to these 20 listings.
Oh, I see. So it's the app that you are applying for.
That is correct. Yeah. It's an app or skill.
Okay. And then once the app is approved, tested and approved, then you submit the number of listings or the ASINs that work with that app. It's kind of like the video, like the product
Yes.
video. I see. I see.
Very similar to that. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So once the video is approved, you can attach ASINs. It will still require a review, but it's no big deal review. It's just something that
That is correct, but there is a key nuisance with connecting the badge, and the thing about that is that the application, brand name, manufacturer, model number, category, whatever it is for the application that's approved, that's the information that has to be on those specific fields in the back end of your product detail page. If you have a different model number, but everything else matches, you won't get the badge live. So the beauty of this badge is it invokes consumer trust that this product works with Alexa. You're not wasting keywords in your title, and you get a bright blue works with Alexa badge on the SERPs, the search engine result page, plus your product detail page.
yeah. How do you get the same model number into 20 different listings though? Does that work?
So yes, it can work. There's a model number under the more detailed section of a product page on consumer electronics on Amazon, and you would just use the same model number essentially on that. It
That's a
will
very
display on the front end. Here's the thing: it will display on your front end. You'll have 20 listings that show the same model number on your detail page. That's the problem. However, you're saving thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars by doing it this way. In the last year, I worked for a well-known tech company in New York, and they had been applying applications, spending thousands of dollars per application for this Alexa badge for every time they released a new product. I said, guys, you got 20 outdoor security cameras. Let me go into your detail pages, update the model number to be just this one model number, which you already have an approved certificate for, and just submit the badges for them. I got 20 products submitted with Amazon badges within 10 days, and I saved them about over holistically the course of 90 days this whole cleanup project lasted. I had to have saved them about 55 to $60,000 in application fee.
Is it a fixed fee, the application fee?
Fixed fee, unfortunately. There's a lot of different metrics that go into it, but it can range between $300 up to $1,500 or more.
Okay.
It could
I mean,
depend on the brand, it could depend on the product, demand, things like that. There's no real answer to that per se, but I'm still A/B testing that information as well.
yeah. Well, I mean, listen, these are things that will increase conversion, and anything that will increase conversion is money well spent. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Well, you delivered a lot of pearls, Greg. I would call
Well,
them pearls. These are very valuable things.
I'm glad to help grow the Amazon community. It's what I really enjoy doing is helping others. And there's a lot of especially when it comes to Amazon, there's a lot of things that everyone needs help with, including myself. You know, Nick, I'm sure there's things that you run into and try to wrap your head around. You're like, like, why is this new program coming out? So
It's a
that's what we're
very
here for.
a complex marketplace to navigate for a regular business, and the world is
Absolutely.
becoming more and more virtual. And virtual means information specific. Everything has to be precise, so very easy to miss these things. Great piece. I mean, this knowledge. I love this kind of stuff, and people can immediately put it to work. So now is favorite part of every episode where I get to know every guest more intimately. How did you end up here? And what I want to know is, when did you realize growing up as a kid that you had interest in starting your own business, suffering as an entrepreneur, as all entrepreneurs do? So when were those early telltale signs?
Um, I would say I was about 7 or 8 years old. I grew up in a unique environment. Had two disabled parents, so they couldn't work. Uh, Kind of a split home situation. I grew up with my mom, um, but she was a seamstress, and she would stitch and sew clothing, uh, patches onto vests, things like that. So I grew up traveling the world in the U.S. at least, going to Sturgis, Laconia, Gulfport, Daytona Beach. I went to bike swap meets, motorcycle events. My mom was a stitcher. She would do work and build custom chaps, repair leather seats on motorcycles and things like that. Um, so I kind of grew up in a sales environment right out of the crib, per se. Um, I started making by hand my own bracelets, like jewelry beaded bracelets, when I was about 6 or 7 and selling them with my mom. And then as I gotten older, I had, you know, growing up in the late 80s, early 90s with, technology advancing, we went from these large floor mounted IBM computers to laptops essentially over the span of a decade and a half. Tech always interests me, man. I got into HTML coding when I was young, and from there I was like, why don't I combine my knowledge and attention for detail with my sales history and what I've learned over the years, how I read people at a show, because you can run into a lot of different personalities on a motorcycle. So that's what got me into Amazon. My cousin was about 10 years older than me, so he was just getting out of college. I was just finishing up high school, and he had all these extra books laying around. So I was like, "Hey, let me take these on this new platform." It was somewhat new, you know. I was like, "Let me put them on Amazon." Or I tried the eBay thing, and it was already kind of like a dead horse at the time in comparison to Amazon hitting the market. So it took off. It really took off. So then my next call was my other cousin, his sister, who was about, you know, 5 years older than me. I was like, when you leave or you change classes, let me get your old books.
So, this story reminds me of this show. So I started watching on Netflix the show called Young Sheldon. It's a great one. So anyway, I'm close to the last season, I think. So what happens is he goes to college, Sheldon goes to college, and his brother, the dumb brother, the older brother, but he's an entrepreneur. He's a very good entrepreneur. He discovers in one of the boxes that were packed away after he left uh, his test papers. Of course, he's got A+, 100 over 100 on all of them. He says, "Oh my God, this is gold," and he starts selling them. You want to test
Absolutely.
questions, and well, how do you know they're going to ask? Look at the statistics that Sheldon, and then he ends up photocopying them, steals his father's key. So when you start telling me they used college, it reminded me that. My question is, at the age of 6 or 7, why did you feel, because not every 6-year-old wants to make jewelry and sell jewelry. Where did that come from to you?
I had to support my mom, being disabled, having epileptic seizures, which she did suffer from. It all stemmed from family, support my family. Um, that's what really got me into it. And then from there, I realized that I could help other people be united, which I do now. I make wedding bands for my men's jewelry. I bring people together in some of their most harmonious and exciting events in their lives. And I can't think of anything more important than a wedding day, or renewing your vows. I saw how I was helping my mom, and I wanted to continue that and continue helping others. I realized I needed money, so I kind of exploited my sales techniques and worked for some small companies and very large companies, as you had mentioned earlier, and just built my career from there. I just happened to settle into the Amazon world at a very young age.
Well, I mean, Amazon, to me, of course, that's where you are today, and then how you discovered is significant to you. But to me, the most significant thing, hearing you, I mean, life put you in a situation that is not necessarily a fortunate situation. It's an unfortunate situation. And then you turn that into a real gem. I mean, this is, you not only did something noble by supporting your family, but that came through helping. So it's
Absolutely.
helping in two ways. Talk
Nick, you give
about
me
making
lemons. I'll squeeze you some lemonade, brother.
exactly. I was just gonna say, you're making lemonade out of lemons. I mean, there is no better example than this. Well, it's admirable. So my hat is off to you.
Thank
This
you,
is
Nick.
a great story. So tell us, Greg, how can people reach you? Share your contact information with us.
Absolutely. So, as I mentioned, I am at CES this week. Outside of my two brands that I am selling on Amazon, I am running a digital marketing agency called Parker Worthington. We're out here at CES this week. We're going to be hitting the shows and the floors, North Hall, Central Hall, and we're going to be over at the Venetian. So we're going to be around talking to people and selling our services essentially. And the best thing is, I found a niche in this whole client agency marketing. A lot of people get a bad taste in their mouth when you mention marketing agency, or unfortunately, it's like anything. There's only takes a few bad apples to spoil the whole thing for everyone. But we're very straightforward in our pricing. We give a flat price. There's no percentage of growth, right? That we want to help sellers and then let them reinvest their earnings back into their business. Yes, we're going to grow. We're going to slowly grow compared to our competitors, but we're okay with that. So, Parker Worthington, if you hear us or see us out there in CES, or check us out on our website, we do hourly work and partnership work as well. So,
Cool. Look, slow and steady wins the race. That's what I know.
absolutely.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you for everything that you shared with us, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Nick. Have a great day.
Before you go, make sure to sign up with Arti and claim your lost revenue. Visit www.getarti.com/legends to register. You will get 1 month free and experience Arti's features. Sign up now at www.getarti.com/legends. Thank you. And this brings us to the end of another episode, and I'll see you on the next one.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the episode, and share it with someone you think would benefit from it too.